Hello and welcome to this episode of Grace-Filled Plate TV. In this episode, I'm going to help you pick the right diet for you. Yep, you heard me correctly. On this very blog, we're going to talk about how to choose the right diet. We've all been there. We've gone to the bookstore, we've been online, we've been perusing Pinterest, looking for that perfect food plan that's going to help us get to our goals and solve the world's problems, right? We have really high expectations. And yet, when we dove in, we discovered that it was a really bad fit for us. It's like going to the store and trying on a dress and it looks cute there, and then you get home and you scratch your head wondering, what was I thinking? We've all been there with clothes and food alike. And so today we're going to talk about the 3 criteria you want to consider when choosing a habit change, a food plan, or even a diet. The first thing that needs to inform your decision about which diet or food plan you're going to follow is your history. Your history is rich with information that can really give you a helpful idea of what's going to work for you and what's not. So I'm going to challenge you to pull out a piece of paper and jot down all of your previous diet attempts. Have you done the grapefruit diet, low carb, paleo, keto, vegan? Maybe you tried intuitive eating. What worked for you in those plans and what did not? This is super valuable information that you're not going to get anywhere else but from your life experience. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you tried a low-carb diet and it gave you some results, but you found it completely and utterly unsustainable. You couldn't stand going to the Italian restaurant and having the bread and oil in front of you and not being able to eat it. So what you learned was that maybe moderating carbs was helpful for you, but completely cutting them out was a disaster. And that particular plan may have caused some all or nothing eating where suddenly you felt like all carbs were bad and then it was hard to eat them in a modest amount. So you don't have true data about what a middle of the line approach could do for you. Let's use another example. Let's say that you tried counting calories. So you put everything you ate into an app, maybe you even weighed and measured it. And you liked the accountability. You found that you thought twice before eating something, but yet it was such a pain. It didn't fit into your daily life, and you didn't want to go out to dinner or to a friend's house because you had no idea what was in that, that goulash of food. So what did you learn? You learned that some additional accountability was helpful, but yet rigid rules and having to track every bite you ate didn't work. So what could work? Maybe you decide to track 1 meal a day or 1 meal a week, choosing random days each week so you would get a flavor for midweek, weekend eating. Maybe you decide to just snap a picture of your food because snapping a picture of that random spoon of peanut butter just would be enough to help you avoid having it altogether. Therein, your previous experience gave you great information to move forward. So in choosing a diet, you want to, first thing, consider your history. The second thing you want to consider are your food preferences. Yes, what you like is actually important. Even though you may feel completely disconnected from your preferences, diets can cause you to feel like the only foods you actually desire are those that are off limits or sort of on the bad food list. But ultimately, we want to know, what kind of foods do you enjoy? What makes you feel good physically, mentally? What tastes you like? If you hate fish like I do, a food plan that has you eating steamed trout 3 times a week is going to be an utter failure. Your preferences need to inform how you move forward, and that's really important. And remember to step back from that diet mentality and foods that are off limits and think about, if you had the ability to choose anything that you wanted to eat, what would it be? If you knew that brownies were never ever going away, would you want to eat them on a daily basis, or would having them once a week really help you with that craving and help you feel physically and mentally satisfied? So consider what foods you like and promise yourself that you're not going to cut off those foods, because that's only a recipe for disaster. All right, so the third thing that you want to consider is what is sustainable for you. What can you actually do over the long term for a long period of time and actually like it? Yes, once again, we're talking about things that you may like to do. You have permission to do that. What is sustainable for your family, for your time, energy, and resources? What can you do tomorrow and 2 years and 2 days from now? Do you always want to avoid this particular food? Do you want to have to food prep your food every Sunday? The answer could be yes or no. I don't know, and only you do. But you need to make choices informed with things that you can continue to do for a lifetime. And filter it through that, because if it's not sustainable, it's not sustainable in the long term, it's not going to be sustainable this week. And you're, in essence, wasting your time because you know that you can't do this always. So there's your 3-part series of what you want to filter potential food changes and diets through. Your history. What worked for me in the past? What do I want to repeat? And what do I not want to ever do again? Number 2, what foods do you like? What do you want to have on a daily basis? What will you look forward to eating that will help you avoid, hitting up the fast food restaurant on the way home? It's a really helpful tactic. And 3rd, what is sustainable for you? What do you want to do over the long term? So I hope that helps you. If you need some more direction in looking through that, you want to go ahead and check out my course, Faith and Food Foundations. This will walk you through a step-by-step process of how to put your faith into your food choices in a way that is spiritually based, but also gives you a ton of practical help. All right, thanks for joining me on this episode of Grace Filled Plate TV. Have a great day.